Algernon's October with the check-in with Hip Hop United. Our next guest was the perfect mixture of intelligence, emotional depth, and soul in an environment where authenticity was in short demand. Her ability to navigate the shark-infested waters of the Big Brother Ocean made her a crowd favorite and put her in a position to continue bringing her brand of soft chaos to the culture. We got Mickey Lee in the building for the check-in. How you doing?
I'm doing exceptionally well. How are you?
I am fantastic. Thank you so much for the parking tip, ma'am. We are all good to go now.
Yes.
We're ready to roll and all of that stuff. I had a chance to take a look at your page and things that you had going on.
Okay.
And so cool. One of my first questions was, why would you go on Big Brother?
Oh, my
Why would
goodness.
you decide to go out there and get into that soup and all of those things? Talk to me about how you got there.
You know what's funny? To answer the question immediately, why would I go on Big Brother? Because I'm very much so not a sane person. That's the best way to answer that
Insanity.
question.
Was that
a
the
little bit.
catalyst?
I think a small piece of that exists inside of me. I like to do things that are chaotic and that are very abnormal.
Yeah.
And I was like, yes. But I got there, honestly, they reached out. They reached out to me from my platform. Previously to being in the house, I had a TikTok where I did a lot of like self-care date nights. And I would do Nene Leak impersonations. And they DM'd me from there. And were just like, oh, you have like such a big personality. We think you'd be great for a show. They didn't tell me what show. And obviously after learning more about what they had in mind for me, I learned about Big Brother. And I'm like, wow, like, can I do this? I watched the episode and I'm like, I could do this. And I'm like, why not? Because I don't believe in saying no, especially to opportunities, because if it's meant for me, it's meant for me.
Right.
And fast forward, I was in the Big Brother house, shockingly. Yes.
Yeah, especially since, being a woman of color, you're going to be dissected even more.
Absolutely.
I mean, when you're on TV, you definitely are dissected, but as a sister, they go deeper than that. So Did you have any anxiety around that kind of going into it?
You know what? I didn't have anxiety until the day I was on the stage about to walk in the door. So obviously I had been there for weeks prior, before actually going into the house. But when I was on that stage and she called my name, Julie called my name and said, Mickey, go into the house. And that door closed behind me and I knew I could no longer leave unless I lost this game. That's when the anxiety stepped in. Yeah, for sure. I was like, okay, this is real. And it felt very uncomfortable. Yeah. And I think for me being obviously a Black woman in the house, I didn't really feel any difference immediately. Like my whole goal in the beginning, we're all like new people in this bubble. So it's like, it's whatever. Like, hey, you don't look like me, whatever. We're in the same experience. Yeah. And I think as the days progress and people are actually starting to be their authentic selves, that's when you remember like, oh, shoot, I'm a Black girl in this house and I'm a little different. Yeah.
Is it true that you really forget about the cameras after a while or because they say that, they say, oh, after a while you don't think about the cameras, but I'm just like, really? Do you really forget about them?
You do forget about the cameras. And I've had some moments that were shown that I'm like, yeah, that was a moment where I forgot a camera even existed. And you shouldn't, right? Because they're in every little corner of the house, but you forget. After being in the house for over 30 days, like what is a camera? I don't know.
Okay. Now, I know people are going to do whatever it takes to win, whatever it takes to survive. Were there some things that you just went into the house going, I refuse to compromise on any of this. I don't care about winning in that regard. Yeah. Was there anything that you was just like, I'm not going to do that?
I refused to have a showmance, even though there was no one in the house for me ultimately anyway. But before I knew who was in the house, I was like, I don't care if it's the finest men in this house. I'm not going to let a man get in between me and this money. That's what I said. I refuse. That's where I drew the line. Okay. And they were very heavy on that. Like, oh, are you looking? Do you want? And I'm like, nope, no. And I was glad there was no one in there for me because that helped me stick to my guns. But that's what I refused. I refused to kiss a man on camera. I refused to be intimate with a man on camera. I'm like, my grandmother would have a heart attack. So that's where I drew the line. Yeah.
I like that. Okay. Now that your time is finished there, in terms of that, you've kind of moved on to bigger and better things, which we're going to talk about
of course.
What was your initial strategy kind of going in? Or did you, when you went in, you were like, okay, here's my plan, outside of no men?
Right. Okay, so my original strategy that I obviously didn't do very well because I got kicked out, my goal was to be very under the radar. Like, I wanted to be a person that did not have a strong personality. I wanted to be someone that everyone obviously flocked to and kind of could see themselves in, but not someone that they thought was a threat. Right. I didn't want to seem like I had a lot of strength behind me or even like a lot of knowledge. And I think obviously after doing something, being somewhere for day after day, you start to become more of yourself. You can only hide yourself for so long. Right. And so, after I think there was a moment when I won a power and that I don't think anyone thought I would even be capable of winning. And when I used that power, I think it showed like, oh, okay, she's that girl. And I think it gave that.
Drew attention to you at that point. You're like, I can't be under the radar.
I know.
They've seen my energy. They watched me adjust my crown. Now it's on.
And I was standing in it. I'm like, well, my time's a ticking now. I could feel it. Yeah.
Okay. Now, what was the hardest part about being on the show overall?
I think the hardest part for me personally is, the fact that you don't have any privacy. Like your privacy, it doesn't exist anymore, right? Even just undressing, like you get so used to having to like cover yourself with a blanket or a towel or whatever. So much to where weeks after me being out of the house, I was still getting into the shower with a robe on, forgetting that I'm in my own home.
Wow.
Yeah, so
it
plays on you psychologically a lot when it comes to little things like that, for sure. I think that was really hard. And I would say second hardest would just be not being able to contact anyone, not having a lifeline. Like I do a lot of things in life now to where I still call my mom and say, hey, what do you think?
Yeah.
And you don't have that. You have to go with your own discernment, and that's all you get.
So even when you were, having private moments in terms of in the restroom, as we all do or whatever.
It's on camera.
Still? Wow.
Yeah, they don't use that, of course.
Okay, but it's still there.
Yes, the production team, they can still see whatever you're doing at all times because they have to make sure you're not doing anything game-wise. And they know what to and what not to utilize, but yeah.
Yeah, it could be gross after a while.
It can. And you just feel violated a little bit, right?
Yeah, I feel violated just hearing about it. I'm like,
it's not the best thing ever. Yeah.
Okay. Now, if you could go back on the show, kind of knowing everything that you know right now in terms of everything that's going to happen, everything that's transpired, would you still do everything the same, or would you change something?
Oh, I would absolutely not do everything the same. No, I think what I would change for sure is I think sticking to my guns a little bit more of trying to stay more under the radar. I think it was a little hard for me to just not hide my very independent, sure of myself persona, which, a lot of us have as Black women. Yeah. And I think I should have worked a little bit harder to keep that under the rug. I think if I would have done that, I think I would have stayed at least maybe 2 to 3 weeks longer.
Okay.
So I think I would have changed that a little bit, and I think I would have trusted my discernment a lot more. I think a lot of the things that I thought of people originally were accurate, and I kept changing my own mind because, you're going back and forth about things.
Yeah.
I think I would have trusted my discernment a lot more, for sure, because I was right about a lot.
Okay, let's go outside the show. Let's talk about some things you're doing in terms of that. The Mingle experience.
Ooh, yes.
Tell me about that.
Oh my goodness, that's my baby. So I own a company where we curate high quality, high value, elevated experiences. So our goal is to show the world that Atlanta is way more than just hookah and lemon pepper wings. Even though I love both. Okay?
Say it again.
But I love both. But I think some people have this this negative connotation. That's all we do. And it's like, no, we do really nice grown up things.
Yeah.
So we do, champagne tastings. We have art exhibits. We do all types of really cool stuff. And so we do events all over the city. And a lot of the events that we do bring back, crowds into these spaces that might have not been utilized.
Yeah.
And I'm really impressed with it. So I do that, and I also do a little consulting. So some people here in Atlanta hire me to just build activations for them to keep in-house, to just make sure that there are certain demographics are visiting and they're enjoying themselves and they have staple in-house experiences.
Yeah, because one event that you had that sounded really interesting, the Silent Night Sessions, listening experience that you said feels like brown sugar and Prosecco.
Prosecco, yes.
Woo!
Doesn't that sound good?
It just makes you just the title of it. I was just like, I want to know more about that.
I know, you should come. Okay, I'm going to get you a ticket because you should come.
Please do, because that just sounds nice. Break that down, how that's going.
So it's going to be next Friday, obviously on December 19th, and it's with Via Ray, her wine company. So we're going to allow people to obviously experience her different wines, but experience them in cocktail form as well as just plain Prosecco. But we're having a live band come out, and they're going to do flips on all of our favorite holiday songs. But we're going to do some really dope flips. So it's going to be a combination of R&B and Christmas wrapped in one, if that makes sense, but very sultry, very up to beat as well. We have a song that we mix with Outkast. It's going to be very vibey. And when you walk in the space, it's candles everywhere. So it's going to be candlelit like crazy at the rooftop of Spaceman, of course. And each guest will experience a flight of different Via Ray cocktails that they'll be able to experience. And we're going to mix some poetry in with that too. So we have some poets from the city that are going to do their little sprinkles and renditions of, a hip hop Christmas mixture. And we just want people to vibe out and have a good time.
All right, what's the dress code?
Dress code is just competitively. I say dress competitively, which means dress just in case your husband is there, you want him to think you look good. And just in case that fine woman that you've been checking out for weeks on your Instagram, you see her in person, she's like, okay, this man is fine. Dress like you want to be represented, I would say that. So you don't have to overdress, but just dress good.
Okay, I got that. I like that. Now, why do you enjoy kind of hosting and putting events together?
Oh, my goodness, because I don't think people have really had good experiences. I think a lot of people go to parties where it's free before 9 and, the bar is open and you can get a shot and this and that and you have the go-go dancers or whatever and the promoters, which is great. But I don't think a lot of people have gone to events where they have left from those and they're talking about it weeks and months and years afterwards, right? Because that was an experience.
Yeah.
You touch something in them that they'll never forget. And I think that's what I build. I craft immersive experiences to where 10 years from now when you're telling your children about something you did on one Sunday in Atlanta, you're going to be like, oh, hey, I experienced this and it was curated by this person and it left me feeling this way. I don't think parties and stuff do that. And I think that's where my art comes from, being able to allow people to feel a way.
I like that. I like that. All right, we're going to go off-road. We do have a section within Hip Hop United here that we do call Doing Too Much. We're going to let the title in itself kind of explain what it is. I'll go first.
Okay.
I'm going to base mine on a person.
Okay.
We're going to go with Ray J. Ray J. Willie Norwood Jr., Brandy's brother. He's doing too much, bring a lot of attention to his sister with everything that he's doing. And obviously we heard about what happened over Thanksgiving. Unfortunately, we definitely think that man needs to get some rehab and some help. But just in general, that is a person, in my opinion, that is doing way too much. I'm going to need you to calm down. Yeah. Your turn, ma'am.
Ooh, this is tough. Somebody who is doing absolutely too much.
Or anything, whatever.
Just anything is doing too much. Oh, okay. Well, here, let me go. Okay, all right. Attention, everyone. I do think that some men nowadays are doing too much in regards to their ideas of what women should and should not do when it comes to dating. I'm going to say this. So I had a guy who planned a date for me or wanted to say he wanted to go out on a date with me, and he literally did not check in with me on the same day to make sure the date was still happening. Exactly. And instead of apologizing and saying, hey, you know what, my bad, I should have communicated better, he said, oh, well, communication works both ways is what he said. And in that moment, he was doing way too much for me and not enough for me to go on that date. So men who are doing those things, I think you should stop doing that for sure.
Absolutely.
And you're doing too much, Buki.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, how you going to blame her for you not communicating, especially when he initiated the date?
He initiated the date, and the day of the date came. I didn't get a good morning. I can't wait to see you. I can't wait for us to have a good night tonight. Nothing. And he texted me 30 minutes before the date was supposed to happen and said, hey, are we still on for... He said, hey, are you still on for tonight? No. It takes me 2 hours to get ready. So that means I'd have to start getting ready right now.
Yeah.
Doing too much.
I need him doing too much, and I need him to do way better.
And not doing enough. Exactly.
Wow. That is so not cool.
See, I'm glad that you agree with me.
No, I totally agree with
Okay.
you on that. No, I'm a communicator.
Okay.
I'm very
Yes.
communicative. I like
Yes.
to have discussions, and I understand the 2 hours in terms of that as well. Hey, you got to have time to get your crown together.
Yes.
Got to make sure you're looking good.
Yes.
And to me, I always appreciate the finished product.
I know that's right.
So
So
I
you
get
would have
it.
texted her before.
I would have texted her that morning, first of all, to make sure we were still all good. Because
Correct.
plans change. Things happen. You're a businesswoman. You might have
Hello.
something come up. So,
You get
hey,
it.
are we still good for
Yes.
tonight? Yes, no, okay. Or reschedule or anything like that.
Yes.
Secondly, I would have reached out to make sure that the place where we were still going was still all good. That's acceptable. Mood shift.
Yes.
Things happen. You'd be like,
Yes.
I wanted something candlelight. Nah, I'm in more of a different, spicier
Yes.
vibe now.
Yes.
So, yeah, communication's kind of a
Wow.
big deal for me.
You get it. I know that's right.
I do understand. All right. We are doing too much in
Doing
terms of
too
that.
much.
All right. What are 3 qualities that you feel define you the most?
Ooh, 3 qualities. I think I am very ambitious. I think I'm infectious. I think that's a quality. I think my
I agree.
personality, laughter, all those types of things, and resilient. I think those are the 3 that will be most accurate for me for sure. Yeah.
Fantastic. How do you measure your happiness?
Whew. No one's ever asked me that before. How do I measure my happiness? I actually don't even know how to answer that. How do I measure my happiness? I guess that's a great question. How do I measure my happiness? I don't know. I wake up and I thank God every day that I'm here. And I think that makes, I'm happy when that happens, right? I still have another day. I have clothes on my back. I have food on the table, and I have my village. I think that measures, that's measurable for sure, right? How strong or how much people my people are cheering for me or saying that they're proud. That also gives me a little additional happiness as well. I guess that's it. That's hard to answer. I want to stick with that.
No, I think that that's the perfect answer because life in itself is what should make you happy.
Yeah.
Seeing another sunrise makes me happy.
Yeah.
Having the ability to breathe, mobility.
Yes.
Those are things that make me happy.
Yes.
I think many times we take for granted the fact that we can be up and about and do whatever we have to do. We
Right.
can have a thought, get up and make it happen. You have the ability to go out and chase your dreams.
Yes.
That makes me happy.
Yes.
So I could
Even
totally
driving
understand.
here. Driving
Exactly.
here, I was so happy. I don't know why. I was in the car listening to Take Me Through there, and I'm just like, oh, I'm about to go do a podcast. Like,
Because you knew you were going to be having
I'm
a great
excited,
conversation.
yes.
I was
Like,
happy
it
because
makes
I
me
looked at your
happy.
page and I said, she looks fun. I'm going to have a great time with her. This
Yes.
is going to be a great
Yes.
day. That's it. So
yeah.
happiness, and you're right. I think you do have a very infectious personality
you.
in terms of that or whatever. I like a lot of things that you've been doing. I'm very interested in your event. So
Yes.
we're going to
You're
talk
gonna
about
come.
that off camera in terms of that. Now, how you going to close out the year and what kind of cool things you got coming up for 2026?
Ooh. So I'm closing out the year, honestly, with a lot of reflection. So, many know this already, but obviously, so I lost my grandfather last year this time. So he passed away the day after Christmas. And so it's the first grandparent I've ever lost. And we were very close. My baba, he's the one that named me Mickey. So this year is the first year that we won't have him, obviously. So this year, I'm going to close up shop with business, and I'm really just locking into a lot of reflection. Obviously, as we're leading into the January 1st, spending time with family, doing a lot of journaling, and starting some new traditions that surround his legacy. So that's kind of what we're working on this year. I have one more event, obviously, that I'm doing on the 27th, which is a couple of days after Christmas for East Street Team, which will be really nice. And then after that, reflection. So I'm going to just close up, get off of social media and just really do some reflecting. I do a lot of yoga. I'm going to work out a lot. I'm trying to do some fasting and just trying to ask God exactly what he wants next for me. Mm-hmm. And then leading into the new year, we're doing all kinds of things. So January 11th, we're doing a icebreaker social. So we're taking over an entire ice skating rink. Ooh. And we're doing R&B jams only. We're going to have a spiked hot cocoa bar that's sponsored by Mercer and Prince. And Publix is going to be sponsoring a cookie bar. So people can come and make their own cookie tins, which will be really cool. And it'll be a good opportunity for singles, couples, people that are looking for other business partners, whatever, to come out and just, meet other people that are like-minded. And that's how we're going to start off the year. And then everything next year is going to be always everything elevated. I'm doing a lot more corporate things. I'm working with Rolling Out right now, obviously, to do their media. So a lot more, red carpets, things of that nature. And then the next thing for me is a podcast. So I'll be launching my podcast in 2026 called The Roster Report, Roster. And I'm really excited to get that off the ground as well. So next year is just up, and prayerfully my husband. I think he's coming too next year. So that's what I'll be working on.
Speak it into existence. Speak it all into existence. Well, I'm definitely can relate in terms of the grandparent. Last year around this time, I lost my grandmother.
Oh,
so
this
is my first year.
It sucks, right?
Not having her, and that was definitely my second mom, and it definitely has impacted me greatly.
Yeah.
I feel that void, but. Whenever I see 11/11, which is her birthday, I always tend to smile, and it pops up quite often. So it's just a way of me knowing that she's around, and different little times where they kind of touch you on the shoulder, say, hey, I'm still here. Now, straighten up yourself, make sure you're taking care of your business. Yeah. So we're both going to be okay. We both have ancestors walking with us and big things like that. Well, listen, I wish you nothing but continued success. I can't wait to see what you're going to be doing next. Obviously, looking forward to seeing your event next week and all of that. If you could, tell everybody all of your platforms and where they can find you, and of course, what you got coming up next.
All right, guys. So you can find me on Instagram at the Mickey C. Lee, on TikTok, the Mickey C. Lee 1. Twitter, the Mickey C. Lee, and everywhere else you can find me there as well. We also have our Mingle Experience page, which is the Mingle Experience, and our next few events, obviously December 19th, Spaceman Rooftop, we'll be doing Silent Night Sessions, and January 11th, we will have our Icebreaker Social that you can find us on the Mingle Experience page to attend to. That's pretty much it. Shout out to all my peaches in the A, of course.
That's what I'm talking about, man. This has been absolutely amazing. Again, continued success. Can't wait to see everything you're going to be doing. Mickey Lee, you have been officially checked in with Hip Hop United. Let's go.
Yay! Thank you for having me.
Thank you for coming, man. That's fun.
That was cool.